Okay, fine. Before starting the quadratic, right, we need to understand two things, right? One is linear equation in two variable and the other one is polynomial. Then we'll move to the quadratic because quadratic is linked to them, right? How it is linked, that I'll explain right now. Right, fine. See, when I'm talking about, variable and constant, there are two terms, right? For example, if I'm writing 3 and x, right? This is a constant. What I mean by constant, okay, this is fixed. The value is fixed. For example, it can be 3, 4, any number, right? This is variable. When you don't know the value, when you don't know, for example, let's suppose you don't know the value. Let's suppose I'm telling, let us assume something, right? So while assuming, what you assume it as, let it be A, let it be B, let it be C, right? So this X can be anything. What I mean by saying anything, that would be from
Yes, sir.
minus infinity to
So
infinity.
SQL.
You don't know exact number, right? You don't know the value. But the thing is, this is what it is, right? If I combine it out, if I'm writing 3x, right? So this is what variable is, right? Now, if I'm talking about linear equation in one variable, so what it means, the equation will be in just one variable. For example, 3x plus 4x, that is equal to 5, right? So it is very easy to calculate the value of x. What do you have to
Yes,
do?
sir.
Just add it up. 7x equal to 5. X will be 5 by 7,
Equal to
right?
5.
This is how you can calculate it out, right? Easily. Okay? Now,
Yes, sir.
if I'm talking about the next version of it, that is two variables. For example, 3x plus 4y, that is 5, right? Now understand, when we have two variable and you need to calculate the value of xy, or you need to find the value of xy, right? So you need that number of equations. For example, if you have two variable, so you need two equations to
Yes,
solve that
yes,
out,
sir.
right? Let's suppose we have the second equation as 5x plus 6y is equal to 8, right? Now we have two variables, that is x and y,
Yes, sir.
right? Now you can solve and you can find the value of x and y, right? There are three methods to do that. But see, there is no, it's not like that you can approach with any method, right? See, the first one is substitution, elimination, and cross multiplication. We won't be seeing cross multiplication. We'll be just doing substitution and elimination. See, I prefer elimination because it's very easier for us, right? See, what I mean by substitution, substitution means take any value. For example, let's take the value of y from here, right? So what it would be? It would be 4y is equal to 5 minus 3x. What would be y? 5 minus 3x by
Oh,
4, right? What do you have to do? Just substitute it here. So when you substitute y in the terms of x, now this full equation is in which form? X, x variable, right? Now you can easily find the value of x. Once you have the value of x, you can substitute it here and you can get the value of y, right? Now understand the second part, that is elimination method, and that's what we have to use most of the time.
yes, sir.
See, when I'm talking about the elimination, what I mean to say that किसी भी एक variable को आप eliminate कर दो, right? Now, see, there are two equations, 1 and 2, right? If I need to eliminate x, eliminate means if I'm subtracting this equation, the x will be gone, right? But for that, constant term that has to be equal in both the equations, like the coefficient of x has to be equal. For that, what you have to do? This you have to multiply with 5
5.
and this with
Second by 3.
3, right?
3.
Once you do that, what you'll be getting? You'll be getting 15x plus 20y, that is equal to 25. And here what you will be getting? Again the same thing. 15x plus 18y, right? That is equal to 24. Now you can see the term of x are equal. The coefficient of x are equal. So you can subtract it out. Once you do that, you can easily find the value of y, right?
Yes, sir.
This thing is clear to everyone, right? Like this thing out, right? ये तो पता ही होगा आपको, है ना? Like मतलब most of the people know this out, right? So what I mean to say that कि whenever you have two equation, two variable, right? Even it happens, you'll be getting three variables, right? For example, let's suppose you have x, y, z, right? So how many equation you need to solve that? You'll be needing three equations,
3 equation.
right? So this is about linear
Yes, sir.
equation in two variable, in which you do that this out to get it out, to get it done, right? Now let's talk about the graph. Right? How to draw the graph whenever it comes in front of you, right? Let's suppose they have given you equation 4x plus 5y is equal to 13, right? And they're telling you to draw the graph of this equation, right? See, understand one point very clearly. To draw the graph, you need exactly 2 points. So how are you going to calculate that? Nothing. For example, let's suppose we have x, y, right? Now, see here. Let's suppose I'm putting x as 0. What I'm getting as y? 13
13
by
by
5,
5.
right? If I'm putting y as 0, what I'm getting x?
13 by 4.
13 by 4, right? So that is easy to put on a number line, right? See, understand. If
Yes, sir.
I'm telling, see, this is what? X axis,
Yes.
this is
Y.
y axis, right? Now understand. If I'm writing 0, comma 13 by 5, right? So in this particular line, value of y is what?
0.
0, because it is 0, comma 0, na? So if I'm just talking about this line, the x line, right? So in this line, y is always 0. Similarly, if I'm talking about this line, this particular line, so x will be always 0,
Yes, sir.
right? Fine. See why I'm telling you all this now, because in quadratic equation we need to understand, right? Because graph part will come in quadratic equation, and even in function, after function also we need to understand what is graph, right? For that reason I'm explaining you this part, right? So you should know it very well, right? Now understand. Let's suppose one equation is 0, comma 13 by 5, right? What is 13 by 5? Wait, let me. If I want to put the decimal part of 13 by 5, this is what? Around what?
2.6.
2.6 something, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So we have this, right? Now, first point is 0.2.6, right? Let's suppose it is 1, it is 2, right? It is 3, right? So 2.6 will lie some near between, 30. Sorry. First we'll go for this one, y axis. So 1, 2, 3, right? So 2 point will lie somewhere around this particular thing. So it would be 0, comma 13 by 5, right? Now next one is 13 by 4, comma 0. That would be around 3 point something,
3 point something
right?
now.
So it would be around somewhere here, 13 by 4, comma 0, right? Now let's draw the line, right? Now one thing you would notice, if I'm seeing this out, this 2 point, right? If I'm substituting it out, right? For example, if I'm putting x as 0 and y as 13 by 5, right? So this is satisfying. What I mean by satisfying means you will be getting RHS equal to LHS,
LHS. Ah,
right? We got one value, na? Because that is lying on the graph, right? On the graph, we got the values. Whatever point you are getting on the graph, let's suppose it is some point, right? I don't know exactly what it is, whatever it point, right? So let's suppose it is x and y, some values there, right? When you substitute that value in this particular equation, na, that would satisfy the equation. What I mean to say that you'll be getting 13 only, right? Whatever point you are considering on the line, right? Fine. This thing is clear. Okay. Now
yes,
let
sir.
us understand how will you find the solution if you have a graph to do, right? For example, let's suppose we have two equations, that is ax plus by, that is equal to c, and the second one is dx plus ey, let it equal to be f. Okay, let's draw the graph, right? For example, the first one graph is like this, right? And the second one is like this, right? So this would be the solution of x and y, right? Fine.
Y.
Now in this particular case, what you are getting? Only one solution,
Yes, sir.
right? Only one value of x and y gonna satisfy both of this equation. What I mean to say that the value of x and y, whatever you are getting there, right? So if you're gonna substitute it here, you'll be getting the same answer. If you're gonna substitute it here, right, the same value will satisfy both the equation, right? If it would be like this, let's suppose like this, parallel. So there will be
No solution. But the
no solution,
single solution.
right? Because they
Ah,
won't be meeting any point of time. right? They won't be meeting anywhere. It will be like, this will go like this will go like this, right? Fine. And the third one is they are coincident. What I mean to say that this is the line of first one, right? The same line will be the second one as well. So this is how many solution?
Infinite solution. Infinite solution.
Many solution or infinite solution, right? Fine. Now, what if you don't need to do the graph? You just wanted to find through the equation, right? There's a method. Just understand it out. Right. Let us write the two equation: ax plus by, that is equal to c, and dx plus ey is equal to f. Right. Fine. We have three cases. What are those? The first one is one solution. The second one is no solution, and the last one is many solution. Okay. So to find that out, what you have to do, you just have to took the coefficient of x, y, and the constant term, and you have to compare. That's all. So what I have to do, I just have to do a by d is equal to b by e is equal to c by f. Right. For one solution, a by d would not be equal to d by e. Right. If you are taking the variable, the coefficient of x, and you're comparing with the coefficient of y, right, and these two are not equal of the both equation, right? So it would be having how many solution? Just one solution,
One solution.
right? For no solution, what would be there? See, a by d will be equal to b by e. This two will be equal, but it would not be equal to c by
That's what.
f. So you'll be getting no solution in this,
Solution.
right? Now come to many solution. That would be what? All are
All three are
equal.
equal.
So there will be
Yes.
many solution, right? So in this particular thing, if you understood through the graph, it would be like this. They'll be meeting at one point, right? In this, the two graphs will be parallel, and in this particular case, it would be like both lie on the same line,
Single line.
right? Fine. This is about the linear equation in two variable. What you should know about it, right? Let's move to the polynomial. Till here, no doubt, na? Hello. यहाँ तक तो कोई doubt नहीं होगा ना?
Yes, sir. No doubt.
No, sir. No, no.
Right.
No, sir.
So let's move to the polynomial part, right? See, there are two things which you need to understand very clearly, right? One is degree and power. Right, right, right. Let me write an equation for you. Let me write like this out. Okay. Now, see, power is what? The power of x. The power of this equation, you can tell, sir, it is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right? You can tell that out very well. Now, what is degree? Degree is the highest power of the equation. Now, if I ask you what is the degree of this equation, what are you gonna tell? The degree is 5.
5.
Right? Now, understand, for the quadratic part, the degree is 3. And
Highest
for cubic,
power of polynomial.
it would be 3. If I'm going for biquadratic, it would be 4, right? Now, what is the other use of it,
Quadratic.
right?
Yeah, cubic.
For example, if I'm writing 2, 3, 4, 5, right? What it thing it denotes, right? Degree, what it denotes, right? For that, first understand the term, what we call it as zeros. If someone is telling you, to find the zeros of this equation, right? Let me first write the equation. If someone is telling, yeah, tell me the zero of this equation, right? So what you have to do, instead of, again, see, a, b, c are some constant term, x is the variable, right? So instead of x, you have to substitute some value. Let's suppose you substituted x1, right? And once you do that, this equation turns up to 0. this equation becomes 0. Once you substitute instead of x, the value is 1. This equation turns up to 0. So what we're gonna tell? We're gonna tell this x1 is 0 of the equation, right? Fine. If I'm substituting x2, then you're gonna tell the x2 gonna be like, let's suppose we are putting x2, right? So let's suppose you are getting 0. So what we're gonna tell? We're gonna tell, sir, x2 is the 0 of it, right? Now, what does the degree denote? Degree denotes how many zeros of that particular equation would be there, right? See, zeros ko in quadratic equation we call it as roots. The definition of both things is same, right? What value of x you're gonna substitute in this equation, so the equation turns up to 0. That particular value of x is called zeros or the roots, right? Now, what the degree denotes? Degree denotes how many zeros or how many roots will be of that particular equation. Fine? Hello. This thing is clear? Right?
Yes,
Degree
sir.
is clear. Zero is clear. Roots are clear to everyone. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Let us understand something about the other thing, right? Right. For example, let's suppose I'm writing it here something. What I can write it in other format? Can I write? What it mean to say that these two are multiplying together, right? Let's suppose you had an equation, right? Most of the time we got it like this. For example, ax to the power 5, bx to the power 4, cx cube, dx square, and e, right? And they're telling you, to find the roots of this or something like that, right? See, you don't have any method for that. Right? What you have to do, you have to go with hit and trial. Let's suppose you went with hit and trial and you found out, ki one is satisfying it out, right? That x equal to 1 is satisfying this equation. What I mean by satisfying this equation, when you substitute instead of x as 1, you are getting it as 0, right? Fine. X equal to 1. So if I had to write it in an equation format, what it would be? X minus 1, right? The same manner, no?
Yes, sir.
Right? -3 satisfying it out, right? देख लो आप चेक करके. -3 0 दे रहा है ना. -3 इसका रूट होगा, right? Hello. है ना?
Yes, sir.
Same here. Right? Now understand one more thing. If I'll divide x plus 3 with one of the root, what I'm getting? The other root, right? So in same manner,
Yes,
when
sir.
you will be dividing this particular thing with x minus 1, you will be getting the other roots, right? Fine. Up now, see the division, what we have to do. I'm just explaining up. See, it is not necessary all the time. It would be there, right? But just letting you know. I don't have the proper number for this because it is not, is there in any syllabus or something like that, right? But let's suppose, for example, you got x minus 1, right? Now, we need ax to the power 5, right? So for that, what do you have to do? What do you have to multiply it here? Ax to the power 4, right? Because we have to reduce it out. ये कटता जाएगा. फिर -1 will be also applied with this, right? Then again, you'll be getting some number here, right? X to the power 4. Similarly, you have to multiply something with x so that you should get this number. And it is cutted it down, right? So in question format, you will get something, see, one power is gone. Out of x to the power 5, one power is gone. So this would be highest power will be 4. Right? So that's what you will get, right? So this is how you can calculate the other thing. Hit and trial if not working. This is the other method to do that, right? This is about the polynomials, right? Now comes to the part of quadratic equation. A very interesting topic. Just a second. Yes. Now, if I'm telling quadratic equation, what it denotes, that the highest power will be 2, degree will be 2, right? So to write a quadratic equation, how you denote it out? Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, right? Fine. And in this particular case, a cannot be 0. If a would be 0, this equation will become
Linear equation.
bx plus c, and this would be what? Linear, right? So x can be, b can be 0, c can be 0. That's not a big deal, right? But a cannot be 0. right? This is about the quadratic equation, right? Now let's talk about the roots. How many roots would be there?
Two.
Two roots, right? Now, see, to find the root, there are two methods to do that, right? The first one is factorization, and the second one is that is directly through formula, right? Before coming to that, let me explain you first factorization one, right? So we'll take an example for that. Let me think of any number. Yes, let's do this one. Okay, fine. See, before coming to that, let me write it here. To find the factorization method to or to solve through factorization method, you have to think of two number. That would be x1, x2. Let's suppose we are thinking of two number, right? So whenever you're gonna add this number, right, or subtract this number, you should be getting b, right? Either you add or either you subtract, you should get b, right? Simultaneously, when you will be multiplying this number, you should be getting c into a. What I mean to say that if you are adding this two number or subtracting, right, you should get b, right? Similarly, think of any two number, right? When you add or subtract, you should get b. But similarly, when you multiply those two number, you should be getting c into a, right? In this, see, this clearly seen. Think of two number when you add, that would be 2x, 2x, right? Similarly, when you multiply, what will be getting? 4x square, right? So I need to just break it. To break it, I can write it as x square plus 2x plus 2x plus 4, right? Now, out of this and this, right, what do you have to do? You have to write two brackets. So, whatever number you are writing here, same has to be here, right? So, let's suppose I am taking x as common. So, inside what will be left? X plus 2.
X plus 2.
Similarly, x plus 2 would be there. So, you'll be getting plus 2. What you are getting? X plus 2 into x plus 2, right? So, what are the roots? X equal to minus 2. Hello. है ना?
Yes, sir.
राइट
हाँ.
और इसको ऐसे भी देख लो, ये क्या है? एक्स प्लस टू का होल स्क्वायर. व्हाट इज इट? खोलो.
हाँ.
ए प्लस बी का होल स्क्वायर इज व्हाट? ए स्क्वायर
A
प्लस बी
square plus
स्क्वायर प्लस टू ए बी.
2.
एंड द सेम थिंग इज
हाँ.
रिटन हियर. एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस 4 प्लस 4x, right? Hello.
हाँ.
So this is the
Yes, sir.
first method to find the roots of the equation. What is that method? What do you have to do? You have to think of two number, so that when you add or subtract, you should get the coefficient of b, sorry, coefficient of x, and the same number what you have thought and you are getting b, the same number when you multiply, you should get c into a, right? Now you'll be telling, sir, what if I'm not able to think of that number? There is nothing to worry about. You have the formula, Sridharacharya rule. And what is that? Just a minute, just let me write the equation first. That is minus b plus minus root under b square minus 4ac by 2a. Through that also you can find the roots, right? So what is b? Coefficient of x. What is a? Coefficient of x square. And what is c? That is constant term, right? This particular thing, b square minus 4ac, this is the game changer. इसको हम लोग बोलते हैं discriminant also, or we call it as d, right? This is also one method. So the two roots would be what? One will be minus b plus root b square minus 4ac by 2a, and the other would be minus b minus root b square minus 4ac by 2a, right? Fine. This also you can calculate, right? Now, why I'm telling this is a game changer. Now, the second thing comes here, right? The most important part of quadratic equation that comes here. That is about the roots. So if I'm talking about the two roots, right? So there can be three cases. The first one would be, the roots are equal,
0.
right? They are same.
हाँ.
The second would be, it can be distinct, right? And the third one, it would be no real roots. These are the condition of real roots, right? Fine. Now look at the equation. Now, Understand? If I need both root to be equal, this has to be 0. This has to be 0. Then you will be getting the root as minus b by 2a. What I mean to say that if b square minus 4ac is 0, what would happen? The roots would be
0 equal.
equal. X plus 2 whole square. Remember, what is what? Right. Substitute the value. B square minus 4ac. What is b here? 4. 16 minus 16. 0. Right? Hello.
Yes,
Fine.
yes.
Right. Now, let us talk about the distinct. Now, understand one thing very clearly. I'm just erasing all here. Okay. Right. Right. We had d. That was b square minus 4ac. Right. If d is greater than 0. See, because, minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac by 2a. Right. You know very well, right? Ki anything if I'm writing in under root, right, that has to be either greater than or equal to 0. This cannot be negative because if it is negative, it will go into complex number, iota form. That is not required here. I'm just telling, right? There's another case also in which, no root exists. No real root exists. What I mean by saying no real root exists, that you won't be able to put it on the number line. Okay. So that is also the case. So what is that case? If d is negative, so what would happen? There would be no
Real root.
real root, right? Fine. See, you don't have to, mug it up. See, if you have understood the mathematics, very well, right? Iota, we write it as root minus 1. And that's what we do, right, in complex number, right? Now it is not required here. I'm just explaining that doesn't make any sense now. Right? You just have to know if d is less than 0, this will be having no real root, right? Now, if d is greater than 0, so the roots would be distinct, right? One will be minus b plus root b square minus 4ac by 2a. The other one would be minus b minus root b square minus 4ac by 2a, right? Now here the comes the generalization form, right? Like, see, so, sir, when we can know that we'll be able to break it in simple terms or not, or factorization will be easy, right? Understand? If b square minus 4ac, right, is under root. For example, it is 16, it is 25, it is, 49, right? So in that particular case, you can break it out. Why? Because this under root will be gone, right? If it's a perfect square, if b square minus 4ac is a perfect square, right? In that particular case, this under root will be gone now. So you'll be getting what? An integer value only, na? Rational or integer, right? But that will be in a particular format, right? Fine. And what if it is not a perfect square? Then it would be in irrational. For example, 2 plus root 3 by 5 or 2 minus root 3 by 5. So when it is in an irrational form, what I mean to say that, okay, first understand this thing. There is something called conjugate roots. What is conjugate root? Like if one root is a plus root b, right? This under root part, right? The other one will be a minus root b, right? If minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac by 2a, right? Fine. This is not a perfect square. Right. So in that case, you'll be getting this conjugate root, right? One root would be minus b plus root b square minus 4ac by 2a. The other would be minus b minus root b square minus 4ac by 2a. Right. Fine. So we had three cases for the quadratic equation. What were those? Ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. One was for real root. In the real root, what is the condition? That either d will be 0 and d is greater than 0. And if no real roots, d has to be less than 0, right? So if any question they are asking, they are telling you the information, the roots are real, right? If they are just telling the roots are real, so you have to use d is greater than equal to 0. Just don't use d equal to or d greater, right? Because real root means it can be equal, it can be distinct as well, right? This is the case of equal. And this is the case of distinct. And in this case,
Distinct root.
no real root exists, right? This thing is clear to everyone. Hello.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir. Yes.
Right. Now let me go through the graph. See, quadratic equation, if for example, let's suppose I have to go draw the graph of y is equal to x square, right? You know very well the graph will be like this, right? Whatever the value of x you're gonna substitute, right? Whatever. Y will be always positive. X को आप negative भी डालोगे, you'll get y as positive only, right? So the graph will be like this, right? Fine. So in quadratic equation, usually the graph is a parabola, right? So we have two conditions for that. F of x, ax square plus bx plus c, that is 0, and f of x is ax square plus bx plus c, that is equal to 0, right? The first one is a greater than 0, a less than 0, right? If a is greater than 0, it will be mouth opening upward, right? And if it is a is negative, इसका भी implication है, I'll explain it in the next class, right? When we'll have the quadratic equation, उसमें जब हम maximum minima के बारे में we'll talk about, then I'll explain what is the implication of that. अभी just you need to understood through the graph, right? If a is less than 0, what would happen? The graph would be like this, right? Now comes to the root part. I'm just drawing for a greater than 0, you'll understand, right? First one, equal root. It means that the graph will just touch and go because both root will be the same, right? If it is distinct root, the graph will cut at 2 points. And if it is no real roots, the graph won't be touching anywhere. It will be like a hanging graph, right? Hello. Fine. In this case,
Yes, sir.
right, this case, when d is less than 0, if you look at the graph, this graph is, let's suppose f of x is ax square plus bx plus c, right? One thing you can tell about f of x, what is that? That f of x is positive, always positive. Look and understand. You'll understood what I wrote. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Right. So in this case, what would happen? So if they are telling you a quadratic equation is always greater than 0, what they mean to say that? The roots are not
Real.
real. So in that particular case, what you have to consider? That d is less than 0. Fine. Hello. Right. Same will go for the
Yes, sir.
mouth opening downward. Right. After this, we have three more topics. One is maxima minima, then sum and product, then writing the equation through that root form. Right. So three topics are remaining. Right. We'll do that in the next class. Right. And I'll send you a sheet, right? So what you can do, right? Basics question in the starting. Like if you know the quadratic equation, you can start doing that out, right? Otherwise, we'll complete it out in the next class, like with hardly 40 minutes we have for that, right? 40 to 30 to 40 minutes. And after that, after completing all this, I'll take some questions, to just let you know, okay, fine, this is how we have to approach the quadratic equation, right? For those people who already know the quadratic equation, right? So the sheets, what will come in the group, you can just go through it, right? Once, you can try it out from your side. Obviously we'll discuss it out after completing the quadratic chapter, but what my point is for you, ki start doing it out if you know the quadratic equation, because you know the terms, right? For you it's just a revision part, right? So you can go through the question, and obviously the question would not be direct, it will require some extra thinking. Let's see, for example, what I mean to say that na, see, all of you know this one, right? If they are giving you a plus b ka whole square, you can write directly. What if they are giving you a square plus b square? This also you can write now. How? A plus b ka whole square minus 2ab,
Minus 2ab.
right?
Oh.
I can replace with this also, na? Right? So this is what you know the formula. For example, you know the formula. Now, how you will be utilizing this formula? This will decide how we'll be able to crack the question up. The formula would not be direct based, right? But you have to think of a way to utilize it out, right? That would be in the sheets, right? No doubt I'll be solving it out. But my point is, na, ki when you'll be doing that sheet, yeah, make sure to give it time. Obviously, tomorrow mostly we'll have the next class. I'll take the class of qualification tomorrow itself before the verbal one, without, because it is just 40 minutes more, right? I'll take that and I'll finish it out. Then we'll have the verbal part of it, right? I'll forward you the sheet today itself. just start trying it out, because it will be having around 35, 40, 50, 60, 70 question would be in the first sheet. There will be 3 sheets for that. Again, I'm telling, first sheet will be having around 60 to 70. Second one will be also having around 30 to 35. Third one will be having around 25 to 30. This three will be discussing for the quadratic equation. Then we'll be moving to the next chapter. Okay. So kal we have the, I'll let you know the timing. It will be mostly afternoon, like around 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, around like that. And for the verbal part, the class for the verbal, that would be 6 or 6:30, around that. I'll let you know the timing in the morning itself, right? Okay, this will be the conduction of the class sheet. I'll send you right now, so that you can practice it out if you know the quadratic equation. ठीक है? यहाँ तक कोई doubt नहीं है ना?
Yes,
Like you don't have any doubt till here, right?
No, sir.
This thing is clear to everyone.
no, sir.
No.
Right. If you have any query, you can just DM me up in my, you have my number with you, right? You can just DM me up. I'll solve it out for you, right? Or from here, we'll be moving forward tomorrow, right? From this part, right? We'll revise it again very fast tomorrow. Then we'll move to the next part. Okay. Chalo. Have a good day, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye, 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 bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.